Hey guys, Revit Tutor, this is Kelly again here. I just wanted to show you guys a real quick way of adding in your cabinets. I've got a floor plan here and I've got a CAD background in here so that way I can kind of tell where I'm going to be putting things. So if you can tell, through my elevations here that I've got nothing in here yet, and here's the perpendicular to it right there. So you can see that there isn't one. So to add in your component families or what cabinets are. All right, so what you want to do is you're going to have to go to the Insert tab, and you're going to have to go ahead and load them either through Revit's Autodesk family cloud-based one, or you can go into here where you can get them off your own computer, whether you've downloaded those, made them yourself, or you have the library that comes with it. So if you open up the one that's on your computer that Revit installs, then you would go here to Imperial Library, and you'll go to Casework. And then it's kind of divided out here again within these categories: base cabinets, top countertops, and all that goodness. So I'm going to go with, looks like we're going to need our base cabinets first. So I'll go ahead and double click on that field. And then you got lots of choices. And here's your preview right here. All right, so you can click on each one of these and just kind of, go through them, see what it is that you want to do. Typically, I always put in the sink one first. Okay. So there's all kinds of stuff in here. And also this is a pretty good one right here, this cabinet filler. So like when you get in a situation where there's going to be gaps, then this cabinet filler will help you out with that. So you can keep on going down, just look and see that there's all those. Okay, so base cabinet, and I want to go with a kitchen sink one. Let's see, where's the sink unit? Perfect. All right, I'm gonna click open. It should have already brought it in. You didn't see that happen. But if I go now over to here and I go to place a component, then you'll notice that the base cabinet sink unit was put in here. Notice I didn't get anything else with it. I already had another one in here too before the fact. If I type in search word cabinet, then you can see that it kind of narrows it down. You can see I've got some vanity stuff as well. So I've got pretty much two types of cabinets. So I'm going to go with this guy first just to see what I've got. Okay, so I'm going to click on the 52-inch here. And you can see that it's got a preview. These dashed lines are the outline, and it's on the end of my cursor. I'm not clicking and holding anything down. So what you do is you take your mouse against a line like this. And when you put it up against the line, you hit spacebar, you can see that there's a rotation. Which is really great about that is it picks up the rotation I want. So I can click and I can place it. All right, now it is showing me that that is what I'm seeing right now. This is my CAD background, don't forget, okay? So this might not be the actual size of cabinetry that I wanted. If I look into the type properties right here where it says edit type, I can see what the depth of the cabinet is. It says it's 1'10". So if you wanted to bump that up to 2 feet, you could do that. If you wanted to change the height, you could do that too. Also, this is letting you know that 4'4" is your 52 inches of width. Okay. There's also some more dimensions down here in the type properties of telling me about the toe depth. So it is giving me 3 inches that's kicking inward, and then it's got a height on that of 3.5 inches. So if you needed to adjust that, you can change these numbers here. Just keep in mind that when you work within type properties, that you will affect all of your 52-inch in-sync units. So typically what I like to do is do a duplicate first. Duplicating is going to go ahead and keep me from accidentally overriding the wrong thing. So I'm going to do 48 inches wide. So that means on my width, I'm going to have to change that to 4 feet. And you know what? I don't think I like this 3-inch height. I like to go with a 4-inch height. I like that better. And we'll say okay. And because I had it selected, it automatically swapped it to that size. All right. Now, if it doesn't fit within this space, then what you want to do is take a dimension of your CAD and see what it should be. So if we take a dimension of the sink background, it says it's 3 feet. So I would say that maybe a 38 inches is probably better. So again, duplicate, get myself a 38-inch. I could obviously fix the other one, but I'd rather just duplicate just to keep that process. We'll say okay. And you can see that it shrinks down. Now it's not centered in there how I would like it to be. It's not centered on that guy. So if I drag it off the wall, use my movement tool, and I come over here and I click on the center of that guy, well, I can come right here up against this CAD line and try to find the middle of it. Notice it's not giving me a triangle. That means it's not getting the middle of that length of line. Revit has in its right-click menu, snap overrides. So I can say snap between 2 points. That's great. So I'm going to actually use the back one. Click here, 1 and 2. Notice along the middle of this line that I'm clicking right now, it's showing a triangle. that means it's gonna center this guy right where I want it. Also, something else to note is the side that you see the flip arrows on is your front of your cabinet, okay? So if you press it like this, and it flips it the other way. If you press it like that, it flips that way, and left, right kind of flips as well. So you might have to go into do some aligning. So align here and there, and now that cabinet's placed. And then you just work your way around. You know, you figure out what size cabinet you need for right here. You figure out what cabinet you're going to need here, and then here. You could take dimensions to help you out. You know, if you see that your dimensions are not showing up, then just go to your annotate tab. They're going to be right here. Align dimensions what you want. So I'm going to go with the outside edge. Just see how close I am to this new one. Okay, 1.9. I'm going to leave it there just so I can have a reference to think about. All right, that way I have an idea of what size that I might be wondering. All right, so I've got that one. I'm going to select that dimension and extend it to be longer right here. Okay, cool. And I might as well get these while I'm over here. So annotate, grab my line dimension. Here we go, here we go, here we go. There's all my dimensions. And oh, I need this last one. So if you're not getting the line you want, you can come over here, see if it'll pick up that one. If it's not getting it over here, just press the tab key over and over until it gives you the line you want on the highlight, then click an empty space wherever you want. All right, so placing dimensions, 3 clicks. 1, 2, click empty space somewhere. All right, okay, so more cabinets, right? I'm gonna put in a single cabinet here, single there, and a double over here, and a single, double, single, maybe a double. All right. So go back up here, get, I don't have a 1'9" single, I don't think. Let's take a look. I'm gonna type in cabinet because it's faster. I got a 21 incher base cabinet. I don't want these vanities now, they're too short. I'll have to go for this guy. So I'm 1'9", so we're talking about 12 plus 9. So we got, yeah, pretty close. All right. The side that my cursor is the back of that cabinet, by the way. Okay. I'm going to place that in there. That's pretty good. I'm going to hit spacebar while I'm placing and put it over here too. That's not exactly the size I need, but I'm going to just put these in here as placeholders for now. I'm putting them up against the JIP. And then I'm going to go ahead and change their size here in just a little bit and just swap them out to the right, guys. I'm just putting placeholders for now. So don't get mad at me for, you know, putting the wrong size in there. All right, so this guy is the wrong size. I need a 1'3", so I need a 15 incher. So I'll duplicate that guy, 15 inch, and his width is 15 inch. Say okay. Now because I had him selected, it went ahead and switched him out for me. I'll do some aligning, perfect. All right, I need a 3-footer, so that's a 36 inch guy. So since it's 36, maybe I'll go with a double cabinet. So let's duplicate that, 36 inch and 3 foot. All right, so I need to do some aligning again because it's obviously these dashed lines belong to the guy next to him. This one looks like he's the right size already. I'll leave him alone. And then I need a 2'6" so let's duplicate that. 2'6", that's 30 inch. All right. And say okay. And I just need to line it right up against that fridge space. All right, and then I need to work on this guy, right? So I got another 30 incher. I'll switch him to my 30 incher. And then, yeah, he's in the right place. This guy is too big, 1'4½". So I got to make another one of those. So that's 16.5 inches, 16.5 inches, and 16.5 inches. Say okay. All right, and then align him into place. All right, great. So now I've got those guys all in there. And you can see that I got gaps between these cabinets and these cabinets here. And that's simply because the way that the layout goes, it doesn't really account for how these counters will make these turns and things. So that'll be something you have to think about when you're doing this. Now, let's see what this house was looking like within 3D in that room. I'm gonna come over here to the view cube, hit the little drop down guy, oriented view, floor plans, and we'll go to first floor plan. And then I get a 3-dimensional representation of what I just did. That way I can do this. I can take a look around and I can see, oh, okay, that's how that turned out. Now there's a difference in height here on that cabinet and these guys, all right? So this guy's cabinet height, if I select him, edit his type properties, he's got a height of 210.5. All right. I have a feeling that that change in the toe kick height changed its height. No, 211.75. Okay, so we got to bring him down 10.5 inches. Say okay. All right. I want to just bring that other one down too. It's easier. 210.5 inches. Okay. All right, looks good. All right, now the only thing I don't like about that is it's got a material difference on them, right? So we're in a shaded view. If I put on textures, we could see if there was, looks like this got a wood texture applied. So judging on this particular family, looking at what his material finish is, I got to look through his properties and see, okay, do we have a material finish on it? And actually it doesn't show really anything in here. Now notice that that's a drop down. That drop down means it's just a list of something I could add to a schedule, but it's not actually the material itself. So this is interesting because I don't see where its actual material is coming from. So I'm pretty sure I didn't miss it. I don't see, this is not it because that's a list. So that's not the guy. And then looking in the instance properties, while I have it selected, I don't see its material there either. So let me see, type properties. Have anything under material? We do, but that's the same thing. If I select this geometry, here in the material, it is called cabinet. So somebody within the project or within this family gave it this material called cabinet. This usually is these three buttons are how we go and assign materials and whatnot. And so this guy happens to be that same material as we saw in the project. Revit's rendering is a little different than the images it displays, so that's why you're getting two different colors there, so ignore that. But what I want to do is tie this into the project so I don't have to open it to do this. So right here, there's an associated families parameter button. Looks like a rectangular square. If I press it, I need to create a new parameter for materials. And I want it under type properties, so that way we'll definitely take care of that. Cabinet, I can say that's what it is. And I'll say okay and okay. Now you get these equal sign. This means that we've assigned that new parameter to it. It's bypassing this word cabinet. And I'm going to load it into my project and close it. I'm going to say yes and close. Oops, sorry. We'll say no. My apologies. And I'll overwrite the existing version and its parameters. All right. So now notice when I select it, go to its type properties, I've got this cabinet material. I'm going to Control-C copy that. And I'm going to come over here to these guys and give it to these guys. Okay, I got cabinet right here. I'm just going to do that for that one. The drawer material, door material. Yeah, let's make them all match, Okay, we'll apply that. Say okay. And you notice now that that has done that. Okay. So now if all these families are similar in nature, you can click them all at one time like this. And they're not. They're all different. So it's going to force me to go to each one and do that same pasting, Control-V pasting. That's why when you create this family, you take care of that up front, but it wasn't done. So that wasn't me. That was Autodesk. Okay, now you can see they all have got their materials. Okay, so next what you want to do is you want to put in your countertops. Yeah, let's do our countertops next. So first floor again, we'll go to insert and we'll go to load the Autodesk family. I like getting it out from the main one I showed you the other way, but I like this one better. It's got better pictures to look for. So Casework is where your countertops are. And there's different types of countertops you can pick from in here. All right, so in our case, our countertop has a very weird shape to it, right? It's got a really crazy angle on the back of it. And you can see here, there isn't really one of these countertops prepared to make that kind of an angle. So I'm gonna have to go advanced. I'm gonna hit cancel. And I'm gonna go to the architecture tab, drop down component, model in place, casework category. Okay. The name don't matter, but you can say countertop if it helps you keep track. Say okay. Extrusion, do an outline pick line button. Seeing that the outline is already there for us, we'll just go ahead. And by the way, don't try to make that little gap between the two work out there, okay? Because that actually causes you headaches later. You want to make a single line if you can for every connecting line. All right, so right here, here, and here, here, and there's a little curve there. You can see the little concentric symbol. I'll turn that on and keep it and do this. All right, so I got some cleanup to do, putting that together and fixing up that corner. So my 90-degree tool, I'll click there, here, and into my circle right there. Now I've got an overlap over here, so I'm gonna clean it up with a click here and here. And then I've got an overlap here. I'm gonna click here and here. The reason why I have to do that is because I can't have crossing lines or openings within my loop. Okay, finish it up. Now it does have its own height and extrusions and whatnot, and it's picked out kind of a little bit about its own nature of the height of it. And it's kind of smart. It actually figured out that I wanted to draw at that height, okay? So that's great for us. Kind of a little bit of a misstep as far as the design was concerned for my model. Now, one thing you wanna do too is I'm still within the editor, okay? What I wanna do is assign material to this, so that way I can go ahead and see it with the material if I want to render. So I'm going to do that little box again, create that little parameter for it, and we'll say countertop. And I like type properties, gets all of them done at once. Now I can finish that shape, and voila, I've got a singular countertop. All right, I could go around and I could add like backsplashes and things like that. I'm not going to do that for this, but you guys can do it if you want to. It's just an extrusion going up in that way. I'm going to go ahead and make one more of these over here on this side. Same steps. And we'll say countertop 2. Create extrusion. Again, rectangle works really well because this is a very simple shape. And I believe these do have backsplashes to them. But as you can see, I'm not taking the time to make them. I can do them with extrusions, but why don't we do it real quick just to show you. Back in the floor plan and go to create extrusion. And I'm going to turn on thin lines. It's easier for me to trace these lines out so that way I can make that shape. All right, there we go. Finish it. And I want to look at this in 3D. And the reason why is that if you notice there's kind of a weird difference to the way that it's extruding. It's not really doing the right way. And you can see that it's overlapping into that piece right there. So I want to grab this and bring it up flush with the top of the countertop. Now you can see that right there. Okay. So, and when you're looking at it too, you can also look at these dimensions and just make sure you're not getting funny numbers because funny numbers are not fun to deal with. So that way you can see I've got a 3-inch backsplash there, okay? Also, I've got another issue too, is that there's a gap between those countertops. I can raise the countertop, or I can lower the countertop, or I can raise the cabinets, whichever one I decide to do for that, okay? All right, so now that you see me finish this one and it's one piece, you can see that I can pull on the parts. If you pull on those parts, you're going to disform your shape, so I don't recommend it. I would try to move things around while you're creating that piece. Since that I need that backsplash on this side, I'm going to re-enter this countertop and edit it. So I'll edit my edit place right here, select the countertop here, and I'm going to go to create again from the floor plan. The reason why I like being in floor plans is because it's easier to see what you're doing. Go to extrusion and make that shape again. And you can see that I don't really see that here, but I'm gonna kind of borrow that back here. It's gonna really just be assisting me so that way I can get the right width, the correct location. That way I don't screw this up and put it right against that molding. Okay, now I'll bring that back. Oops, grab that piece right here. It's being a little stubborn. I'm just grabbing and I'm holding on to it while I'm moving at the same time. Okay, so all right, so it's saying it's 1 inch tall. Obviously it's not tall enough. So I can pull on this again. See that it's pushing through, okay? And I just go up high enough until it snaps to the top of that. And then I can just look at these numbers and see if it's right, 3, 4 should be the height of it. All right, great, look at that. Now, one thing I want to do too is I want to join these two pieces of geometry together so that way they take on the same exact material. So I click join, I'll click that guy, and I'll click that guy. Now they both have the same material association. If they do not, what you do is you go back, select a piece of geometry, go into this little associate family parameter button, and just click the part that you want it to be. If it's not joined, then it would give you the opportunity to have two different materials if you wanted that. Okay, so here we go. That was a custom countertop. We also need to put countertops on this side too. So we'll do it with the regular families because they're very rectangular. And I don't need to go through a whole lot to do that. So we'll go to Insert, and we'll go to the Load Autodesk family one more time. I feel like that's the best way to go. If you don't have an internet connection, that will not work for you. So just go ahead and grab the countertop like that, hit load. It brings it in. It cannot load because it already contains an in-place family with the same name. Okay, so the in-place family names are at the very, very bottom down here. Let's see here. I believe I'm wrong. Casework right here. Yeah, right here, the countertop. So I'm just going to rename it. And that way it doesn't get upset with me. I'm going to put a 1 and a 2, so that shouldn't be a problem. Let's try that one more time. All right, we'll select that guy. His name is countertop, as you can see. Load, no problem. Comes into the library for use. I'll go ahead and use the place component. He'll be on the end of it because it's the last thing I loaded in. I have to hit spacebar to give him some rotations. And you can see that the backsplash is built into this guy already. I'm going to shorten him up. Just grab that grip over here because I need to make room for that refrigerator. It wasn't long enough. There we go. And then I'm going to say, let's make some more. Spacebar. I know it doesn't come into the right size, but you can just simply select, pull on the grip until it stretches to the length you need right there. Okay, so 3D here. And there's your result so far. All right. I didn't add any material to these guys, and that's why they're gray. So if I go into the type properties, you can see that I did give it the opportunity. I still have my cabinet material on my paste, so I'm just going to paste that on to each of them. So edit type. I hope I forgot to do this one. Edit type, select these two here, give them the material association parameter. So I'll counter. So okay. And finish. I'll select it, the type, and say okay. All right, cool. Now I'm not going to go through the hassle of adjusting the height of the countertop, or I'm sorry, the cabinets. You already saw me do that when I first put them in. You can do that yourself if you feel like it. So just need to put in a stove, sink, and refrigerator. So back to the floor plan, going to just rely on dimensioning here. Okay, so I'm just going to find out what sizes I need. 3-footer for the stove. The refrigerator is going to be a 3-footer also. And the sink is going to be a 3-footer also. Okay, everything's all 3 feet. Okay, so that's easy. Insert, load family. And I'll go back to little home here. And I'm going to type in refrigerator. If I spelled that right, probably not. I'm a terrible speller. R-E-frid. It should take it by keyword too when you're searching for it. Yeah, there you go. Huh. All right, then let's hunt it another way. Let's see. Oh, I want to say it's under the specialty equipment. And there's a freezer double doors. I don't know another word for refrigerator, so forgive me if you guys are like shouting this, to me and you know what it is. Let's get that guy. This one's fine. I guess I just misspelled it. That's why I didn't bring it up when I searched. And then there's a range right there. Let's go for the electric range. And then, so I'm checking 2 of these now. See there and there. And then, let's see, I got my refrigerator. Okay, I need a sink also. So back to the home. And let's go to the plumbing. And let's go for sinks. And I'm looking for a double sink. So that one looks like it's okay. You can get custom ones if you don't care for this one. There's better ones online, obviously. That's a 2D one, so I wouldn't recommend it. So is that one. I would try to only go for these because there's 3-dimensional, but load. And it's telling me I already had some on the kitchen sink, so I can just overwrite that. That's okay. It means I've got all 3 pieces and I can place them now. So back to place. Sorry, that was model in place. My apologies. Place a component and refrigerator. And 36 inches is what we wanted. And so it looks like it's a spacebar rotate. And it seems to know what its distance is from the wall because of prior setups, but I'm just going to align this to be exact. Looks good. They're showing you the door swings if you want to see those in plan. Now place the range. Place component. Range. 36-inch range. I'm using spacebar to rotate me around. And there you go. Okay. And finally the sink. All right, sink. And I keep pressing that. Place a component. Sink. And very sensitive. It wants you to get the exact thing. So the 36, 21. That's the guy. I already told you to get the angle. Hover over the line that's angled. The spacebar will get you the rotation. Click it. And you can just align that guy into place. All right. So sometimes things snap. So, you can kind of get it to sort of hit the spot you want. Now, if you're having a hard time placing these and it keeps on disappearing, then what you can do is go to the wireframe right here and then align it that way. There you go. Now they're right on top of each other. Yay. Okay. Didn't pierce that countertop. Main reason for that is 2 reasons. One, it's not at the correct height. So you'd need to raise that to the proper height so it can be high enough, first of all, to be seen above. Whatever that number is, you can use an elevation to figure that out. Also, the countertop needs to be cut. All right, so back to floor plan, edit and place. And can't see that well with the texture view, so I'm gonna look at this in wireframe so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so create, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a void form right here, void extrusion. And all I'm gonna do is just simply trace the outline of the sink. All right, gotta be closed loop that. And then I'm gonna check it out in 3D. I'm gonna make sure that it's pulling through my countertop and going past my countertop. Now, when I click away from it, then it actually makes a cut. I'll finish up my void. There we go. And there you are. So the only thing that's left would be is if you wanted to put in your upper cabinets. So upper cabinets automatically snap to the walls versus the base cabinets don't do that. You have to put them into place. But an upper cabinet, again, let me see if I've got them already loaded. If you don't, you know how to load them already. So place component and we'll say upper. No, nothing there. Let's go for cabinet. All right. Okay, I don't have it. So we'll load them in. Insert, load. Back to house because it remembers casework. And we're going to go for upper cabinets. So you do have some up in here. If you want to save some time in searching, just type in the upper and I'll narrow it down. So for whatever you want to use, I'm just going to take a look. Okay, these are just regular ones. All right, I'll get some of these and some of these. Load. All right. So you can place them in plan. It would work if you were in 3D and you were just simply trying to place them like this. You could say place a component. It remembered what I was doing last. Here's all your sizes if you want to pick from them, but you can do that. It's automatically snapping to the wall, so that's why you're seeing that this is happening this way. This is just me placing them. This is not me trying to be a cabinet designer or anything. So, don't give me a hard time and say, well, nobody's gonna do that. Okay, whatever, that's fine. That's your business, that's your design. But I just want to show you, how this is how you can do it, okay? So the heights of them can be adjusted as well. So if you have an elevation already made up, you might just go to it and run whatever the elevation heights that you're looking for. So I'm just going to use this opening as my guide for my height. Okay, I'm just using alignments and getting things in place. And I'm going to do it again here, here, and there. And this is too far over. I need a single cabinet here. Is really what I would need, a single door. I didn't get one, so that was my stupidity there. Let me just grab one here. All right, now I have a single. So I can go for a single door here. Oh, I guess I loaded one with a glass door on it, so yay me. Now people typically take the measurements, so they're not struggling like this to get their sizing all correct. You know, it's not typical for someone not to know what size it should be. So, and you can keep switching out sizes and whatnot if they're not the right one until you get what you're looking for. So do that. Since I'm in this view, I can still place my little cabinets up here. So I'll go place component again. I'll get my upper ones, my short guys. So I can do it like this. And maybe that's too big. Maybe we'll go down from 24s into, I guess that's a small, well, all right. So now I'll break down and use a dimension. What is a dimension here to here? 3.5. You could actually customize that if you wanted to. Or maybe it's going to be all right and then it fits. But you get the idea. This is basically how these work. You can align them. You can change their heights based off of the floor they've been placed in. So that first floor plan, that's why it's 5.5 for me. Okay, so you know my other side of my cabinets, obviously they're not at the right height, so they just need to be moved down and put in the right way. And you know I'm a terrible designer, so you know sorry. But this is basically how it works. So yeah, that looks decent. You can add some smaller ones if you felt like it was necessary in your design. You can match up the materials again. They do have edit type properties here, so you can paste them in. So that way it matches up what you got going with the rest of your design, whatever it is. This one didn't come with it. As you can see, it just didn't get added to that family. So the same story as before where I had to actually go add it inside the family. So I thought I put that in. Did I not? Okay, I did not. Let me see if this glass one has it. It does. Yay. And then if I don't like that that door is going to be glass, I can change that to be the solid. You know, I don't have to be glass. You know what I mean? So it's all up to me. It's my design, you know. There you go. All right. So pretty decent. Sometimes in the appliances, you can change material colors too. It just depends on if they've supplied it, and they have. So you can go through there and pick out something if you don't like that. This guy don't have it to begin with, so that's because they didn't take the time to select this geometry and give it. It says it does. So it says it's under the other category. So that's just me looking under materials for it. Where it seems kind of natural to find it in the materials category, but somebody put it in the other, so it's down here. And you can see that it's cabinets, plural. That's why it's not colorizing it the same way. I gave it cabinet, singular, and there you go. So that's how you do it. And I hope that helps you guys kind of place some cabinets and things like that. If you can want to raise those, and you can always, this is the solid ones. And then, you know, this guy, you don't have to use this one as an in-place family. You could have obviously done it with one of the regular families, but when it comes to this shape, you're going to have to do an in-place family. Also, your cabinet fillers could be put into places like this. Sometimes you'll end up using an in-place family just simply to extrude up and cover that little hole in. On the back side, you're probably going to go ahead and use a thin wall to go around the back side of it to clean this up, to make that look nicer. You could use in-place families again to close that up. It's up to you. All right, I hope that helps you with your use of Revit. Come see me again and see if there's something else that I have for you guys. Take care.